LeBron James' agent and good friend Rich Paul dropped by Gilbert Arena's podcast, Gil's Arena, and had a lot to say about the GOAT debate. Paul says when we think about the GOAT, we should also think about the pressure of comparisons. Listen up, y'all.
LeBron is the first player to have to deal with a 24/7, 365 news cycle of sports and opinions. And so now you have the root against. That's a whole nother thing that Mike never had to deal with. LeBron's antlers is in platinum and Michael's may be in gold. Why? Because when you think about, he had to be compared to Mike. Who did Mike have to be compared to?
All right, I know you're both chomping at the bit for this one, but First Take fans, you can tell us who wins this debate. All you have to do is scan that little QR code that appears on your screen after Shannon and Stephen A are done. Okay, Are we ready to begin, gentlemen?
Yes.
Shannon, let's start with you. Does LeBron face tougher scrutiny than Michael Jordan did?
Yes, because, and look, we're not having to get into the who's the better player. We'll debate that another day, but we're just talking about the scrutiny that LeBron has to go through because there was no social media. Okay. And Rich Paul is absolutely right. There was no 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365, in which we had an idea. And what the internet has done is turned the common person into a head coach, into a general manager, into a scout, into a professional athlete, into all these things. So now they get to have an opinion. See, Michael would score 50 points, and they never said, well, Larry would have scored 65. Magic would have gave you 80. But if LeBron gets a triple-double, then they said, man, Kobe Jordan would have had 76 points. So that's what he's up against. And the scrutiny of having to go out on a nightly basis, Jordan never had to worry about that. Never, ever had to worry about what the camera, the paparazzi, do you know how many relationships, do you know how many businesses have been ruined with this? That camera phone? Ooh-wee! Can you, get the camera on Stephen A. You see Stephen A, look. The man said in The Last Dance, this is why he said he retired, Molly.
Yeah.
He said he retired due to mental fatigue and burnout.
The first to retire and the second one.
He said the first one.
No, so you're talking about Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah. The first retirement.
The first one.
Go ahead.
Can you imagine? LeBron says, I don't get tired. That's a lie. Everybody get tired. What you mean you don't get tired? You human, just like everybody else. Michael Jordan can tell you something. Nah, he ain't mean that. He just playing with y'all because he wants y'all to. No, you know that and I know that, right, Stephen A.
Right.
We can debate who was the better player, but the scrutiny that LeBron James has had to go through, no other player, no other athlete in the history of the game. Now, we're not talking about what Ali had to go through and stuff like that, but we're talking about when you just critique on court or on field or on ring accomplishments and what he had to undertake, nobody has had to bear the brunt like LeBron James.
Your take on this particular issue, Shannon, is laughable, but I understand. And I forgive you. And the reason I forgive you, Shannon Sharpe, is because even though you were born in 1968, June of 1968, if I remember correctly, I think it's important to remember that you were a star athlete on every level.
Yes.
High school, college, pros.
Yes.
So you weren't in the media at that particular moment in time. I can assure you there was scrutiny that came Michael Jordan's way. But I'll get to that in a second. As an aside, let me shift away from this for both of y'all on a serious note.
Okay.
I'm annoyed at Gilbert Arenas' podcast, all the folks that were there. I mean, Gilbert's my man. I got love for Gilbert. I've been on his podcast. He's going to come on First Take, too, this year. I got a lot of love and respect for him. But Rich Paul goes on there, and Rich Paul go like this. Somebody said that, did Stephen A. say to you, shut the F up or whatever the case may be, which, damn it, I did. And he denied it. But what I'm saying is, it's not a big deal. We were talking in jest amongst brothers. Oh man, get that out of my face.
Right.
It was a comment in jest as we're joking around, talking to each other.
That's the way we talk to one another.
Y'all gonna sit up there and go on a podcast? Did Stephen A. really say that? I mean, are you white? Brothers talk like that to one another.
Absolutely.
All right. All of a sudden, y'all don't know that? Stop. Stop, okay? So I just want to say that, okay?
Okay.
It wasn't, Rich Paul and I are tight. We cool. I love Rich Paul. I see him. We give each other a hug. We talk all the time, man. It really wasn't nothing like that. So let's get that out of the way. And another thing, Kenyon Martin has been on. Kenyon Martin, for some reason, has told folks, Stephen A. Check Stephen A. No, you didn't. I can prove it. I have been a fan of Kenyon Martin my whole career. I loved him with the New Jersey Nets. I loved when he was with Kidd and Richard Jefferson. Then stop the lies. If I have a problem, I'm not hard to find, Shannon.
Right.
I don't deny it.
Right.
I've never had a problem with Kenyon Martin, ever.
Right.
Ever. All right? Because I've always had the utmost respect for him because his game wasn't predicated on points, it's predicated on defense. Now let me get back to the subject and why you're wrong. You talk about the age of social media.
Yes.
And the scrutiny.
Yes.
You don't talk enough about the resources today's generation of players because of the money that they're getting paid, what they have available to them to ward off the cynicism and the scrutiny. You see what I'm saying? Michael Jordan was under a microscope. And you got to remember, even though LeBron is clearly the biggest star, there are a plethora of stars in the NBA because the NBA has globalized its brand and so many guys are their own individual entities and corporations. LeBron is one of many. Now, he's at the top, but he's one of many. There was no one in Jordan's class. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird basically saved the NBA. Jordan was the one that took it to another level and globalized that brand. And because of the greatness that was far and apart, separate from any level of separation that LeBron James has been able to create with his brethren, that put Jordan in the eye of the storm because he stood alone. He didn't have company, Shannon. He was all by himself. And by the way, you said that the scrutiny and the camera phone, woo! Remember what you just said? Do you remember Atlantic City? When he was going up against the Knicks in the playoffs? Well, how do they know about that, Shannon? So his father had died, and then, a few months later, he decided
But you see, y'all see.
That was different. That was different.
And please don't take this out of context.
Sure.
But y'all see how y'all give Michael Jordan grace?
Okay.
Let LeBron James, something of that magnitude that happened to him, they just said he was weak. Every time, yes, they would. You know it. Every time.
I'm sorry. The father getting killed?
I'm saying, yes.
Something like that, Shannon?
They don't give LeBron James the benefit of the doubt that they've given other great players. That's my only argument. I'm not saying that Jordan was not wrong, for taking that time. I can imagine something of that magnitude happening. The closeness that he had with his father, Molly. Yes. But LeBron never gets that grade. They always said he's weak. Remember what they said after who did he lose to? I think. The Celtics. Oh, man. They had this debate. They sedated him. He quit. And they did this and they did that. I'm like, come on, bro.
Well, let me tell you this. Those are critics outside of the media. We can't, so when you talk about the age of social media and what have you, the average Joe out there, the operative word that you left out was wannabe, the wannabe coach, the wannabe GM, the wannabe owner. But the media itself, no. And I will tell you this. I will tell you this in all honesty, because we know there's a lot of sorry-ass trolls out there, and I get that. But most people, man, if LeBron had that kind of, God forbid, thank God it didn't happen. But if something had happened to Bronny on the level that happened to Michael Jordan's father, there is no way that people would have criticized.
I don't know. People were critical of Dak Prescott after his family went through a tragedy publicly.
The
media, absolutely.
I don't recall that, Molly.
There were people saying that he was weak.
Yes, absolutely.
But do you know what that's about? That's about people feeling that way. They were saying the same thing about Naomi Osaka.
Here's what I want to ask you, Stephen A., because you were closer to it. I was younger. Would you say that Jordan is a less polarizing figure? Like, fans were more behind Jordan than they are LeBron?
Well, yes, but here's the reason why. A, because Jordan won. B, because he was an assassin while doing so, and he was unapologetic about it. And you had most people preoccupied with taking him down as a winner. You had, outside of Chicago, you had people that wanted him to lose. They wanted to beat him. And so the focus was on basketball. Because of the advent of social media and how LeBron has expanded, he's capitalized for Jordan, Magic, Kobe, and others, and really took it to another level business-wise. Not for Jordan, because nobody's bigger than Jordan with the business side. But because he took it to another level business-wise, LeBron has opened himself up for scrutiny in different avenues. And so that's where it comes up. So,
did he open himself up, or was he put in a position to have a voice socially and culturally?
No, I wasn't talking about that. Like, for example, you might sit up there and go like this, what businessman? So you compare it to Jordan. Well, can he act? Because he did a great job on trade break. See, stuff like that. It's different avenues.
But that's the thing. Jordan never got compared to anybody. But anytime
because there was no comparison.
But here's the thing. Even though before he started winning, he wasn't better than, remember, Larry Bird got 3 consecutive MVPs at the height of Jordan. Magic Johnson won finals at the height of Jordan.
At the height of Jordan? No, the height of Jordan was when Jordan started winning those championships.
So Jordan wasn't Jordan until he started winning.
No. What I'm saying to you is in '88, when Jordan was considered the best player in the world.
You considered him that?
There was in 1988.
I know 88. What happened to him in 88?
Magic tailed off, Bird tailed off. So he was considered the best in the world.
Work with me
but
here.
He had won.
Clearly, there's more meat on the bone.
Oh, yeah. Shannon and I going to win. We're going to have this all year. We're going to have this all year.
But let's take it to the streets. That'd be the fair thing to do. Right. All right, so let's see what the fans thought at home.
Oh, Woo daddy. Woo daddy is. Woo daddy is. I'm done with it. I'm done with it now.
Please.
The streets are talking, Stephen.
Luckily, I don't give a damn.
No, you gotta care. You gotta care. You gotta care.
I don't give a damn.
We're in social media era.
Oh, please.
Molly, who won, Molly?
You won.
Thank you, Molly.
You won.
Time out.
First day of school, you won.
Hold on, Shannon. Don't walk away. Don't walk away. Don't you dare, Shannon. Don't you dare do that. Oh, please.
I done took Molly from you.
Shannon.
I took Molly from you just that quick.
Shannon.
It only took me 2 days, y'all. It only took me 2 days.
Shannon.
Molly party right here.
Never says I won. That is not a fair question. She is not objective.
How this debate isn't about me.
You made
this
it about you.
I didn't say
He asked you.
I read the
He
result.
won. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.